In this week's Blizz Pro Weekly, BlizzCon tournaments get an extra week, Blizzard teams up with a new publishing company, Overwatch teases new heroes, and are we finally getting additional deck slots in Hearthstone? Hear what game designer Ben Brode had to say. Hey guys, welcome to the newest episode of Blizz Pro Weekly. I am your host, Chris the Beard Arnone. We are filming on September 19th. Let's get straight to it with some interesting news about BlizzCon. So we're now less than 50 days away from the big convention, and those who were excited about the esports tournaments to be seen might be a little more or less excited about them now, depending on where you live. So this year, WoW Arena is playing for a prize pool of $250,000 and will be fought among 8 teams. Hearthstone will have 16 players playing also for $250,000. Heroes of the Storm will have 8 teams fighting for $500,000, and StarCraft will have 16 players fighting for another $250,000. This puts the total prize money for BlizzCon tournaments at $1.25 million. However, you will not be able to see all of this at BlizzCon. So like last year, Blizzard will be hosting a week of esports before BlizzCon from October 28th through November 1st. Hearthstone, StarCraft, and WoW will all be played and will eliminate players by getting some rounds out of the way so they can schedule the esports tournaments on that busy 2-day schedule for BlizzCon. Heroes of the Storm teams will just be playing exhibition matches, so all of their BlizzCon matches will be played at BlizzCon. Now, for those who don't live in or near Burbank, California, where these events will be held, you're in luck. You can watch these matches for free in HD at BlizzCon.com. All right, let's talk some World of Warcraft.
Here's the beef.
So if you've been paying any kind of attention to the novels for Warcraft or Blizzard in general, then you may be wondering why we haven't seen any books come out since Warcrimes, which was 6 months before Warlords of Draenor was released. Now, you've probably also been asking yourself why no novels were announced at perhaps New York Comic-Con or San Diego Comic-Con. That's usually where they announce this kind of stuff. Well, that has finally been revealed as to why this is happening. Blizzard has partnered up with one of the biggest houses in publishing, Random House. New novels will be set in the Warcraft, StarCraft, and Diablo universes, though right now no word on Overwatch. Now, some of these books will be written by some pretty famous authors. So first up, author Bill King, known for his Warhammer novels, will be writing World of Warcraft Illidan, which is set to release March 2016. Author Timothy Zahn, who wrote the Star Wars trilogy Heir to the Empire, will be working on new StarCraft novels as part of this deal. Now it appears both Christy Golden and Richard A. Knack, both known for writing many of the past WoW books, will no longer be writing with this future deal, although there's no confirmation of that right now. Now, with the Illidan book coming out March 2016, it has a lot of people guessing we may not see WoW Legion until next June. However, keep in mind that even though Warcrimes came out 6 months prior to Warlords, it doesn't necessarily mean there's any timeline association between the games and the books. We have seen related novels come out a month before, a week before, on the same day of a release of a game. We've also seen it come out a month or more after the game came out. So what do you think of this news regarding new Blizzard books? Are you excited by the deal with Random House? Let us know in the comments. And let's talk some Heroes of the Storm. So people have been excited about the Uther Judgment skin since it was shown at BlizzCon last year. For those unfamiliar, it's a skin that represents the much-loved Tier 2 Paladin armor from Blackwing Lair and WoW. Then it seemed to have just fucking vanished. Who knows? We didn't know what was going on until this week. The new skin comes with themed abilities, and you can buy it alone, or if you already have Uther, or you can choose one of 2 bundles. The Judgment bundle comes with Uther, the Judgment skin, and the Judgment charger for $21.35. The Uther Complete bundle comes with all of that stuff, plus the Medic skin and the Lumberjack skin, and it's okay, for $32.58. Little Monty Python joke for those who are old enough to remember that. Now, if you already own Uther or some of these skins, then the bundles will be cheaper with the new dynamic bundling added to the game. Pretty cool stuff. Let's talk Overwatch.
world could always use more heroes.
So this week we got a new teaser of at least 2 new heroes that will be revealed for Overwatch. One of the heroes looks a bit like a mad scientist, and the other is a large guy wearing some sort of gas mask. They look like a couple of the heroes that were shown in the concept art at Blizzard. Now, a couple days later, we also got a hand-drawn map that looks to have been sketched by a mad scientist-looking hero. Now, this potentially is a new map called Banco de Dorado, which looks to be some sort of point capture map where the villains will be robbing a bank and the Overwatch team is trying to stop them. The wording behind these teases says we will learn more next week, which points to having new reveals during TwitchCon, which is happening in San Francisco, September 25th and 26th. Blizzard will have a presence at TwitchCon, and Overwatch is planned to be there with new reveal, as well as StarCraft II, Legacy of the Void, to be having some sort of world premiere exclusive content there at TwitchCon. Pretty cool stuff. Let's finish up like we always do with some Hearthstone.
Pull up a chair by the hearth.
So PC Gamer this week was able to sit down and interview senior game designer Ben Brode regarding Hearthstone and how the grand tournament is playing out. Now, the interview itself didn't have a ton of great information. It started turning into a bitch session about the new Secret Paladin decks and about Grim Patron Warrior. Now, with Secret Paladin, Ben said that Mysterious Challenger was tested quite a bit internally, so the deck taking off was not a surprise to them at all. He said it was made to be a very blunt hit to the players to start using Paladin secrets, which were not seeing a lot of play before that time. In regards to Grim Patron decks, Ben did say that it's a style of play that they traditionally are in love with. However, he said the deck really isn't played much on the ladder because it's a very hard deck to play correctly. The deck is good, but it's not quite at the level of good decks that they have seen in the past that had needed to be nerfed. For those hoping for a Grim Patron nerf, it doesn't appear you'll be getting that anytime soon. You just have to figure out how to play around it. Finally though, when the question of additional deck slots came up, that we've all been clamoring for, Ben did confirm the feature has been added to the to-do list, so it will happen. Right now they're just discussing how they're going to roll it out. So for those of you who have been wanting to have additional deck slots, prepare to be very excited at some point in the near future. Now, before we wrap up this episode, I have an announcement to make. After 3.5 years of doing Blizz Pro videos, we've done so much stuff, this is my final episode. It's been a great and fun ride. For me, it's just gaming has become less and less a priority over the last couple of years. Tonight, night of this filming, so it'll be widely known by the time you see this, myself and 8 others are announcing a production company called Bohemian Cult Revival, creating shows in Kansas City and maybe hopefully in other places too. And through Blizz Pro, I've gotten to meet my wife, made some great friends, been to BlizzCon. We've had a lot of fun on the show. We've also talked about some really serious issues, and that's been great. I have to give a big, huge thank you to JR and Heather for finding me, for putting me here, and the opportunity to do this. Right now, the future of Blizz Pro Weekly is a little up in the air. Blizz Pro is looking at some various options. We don't think it's going to be strictly going away, but there will be some changes coming down the pipe. Needless to say, you want to subscribe right here, YouTube, iTunes, give it a thumbs up, all that stuff. Stay tuned for what the future of Blizz Pro Weekly will be. And you want to check out all the other Blizz Pro TV stuff. You want to listen and subscribe to West March Workshop, Heroes Power Hour, Well Met, and of course the return of Twizcast. Me, I'm still all over the internet. Twitter, Facebook, Goodreads author. My book, The Lost and Broken Realm, is out there pretty much everywhere. And I'm a contributor for BookRiot.com and Panels.net. And of course, you want to check out BlizzPro.com. They've got all the news, reviews, interviews, everything you need to know about Blizzard Entertainment games. Now and forever, stay beardy, my friends. Yeah, okay. Oh, no! God damn it.